feel a little verklempt. Wow, well, I feel so much the same way everybody has spoken of. You know, you just do what you do because it's part of your core and it's part of what you believe and it's part of the justice that you want to see in the world, and you just do it. And then to be acknowledged for that after many years, and I feel like I've gotten a lot of acknowledgement over the time, but this was really such a deep honor that I didn't see, didn't expect, and you know, I share this with so many of us, this community, our community that continues to work so hard in trying to create a more just environment, our immediate worlds, and the greater world as well. So my goddaughter said to me once, although she'll deny it now, I'm a bet, Gingy, are you the queen of abortion? You know, it's quite a title to have these days when anything related to women's reproductive health care is demonized. And as many of you know and understand, that my passion is not about abortion, but it is about the rights of people to have control over their own destiny. About women's rights, which is about human rights, which is about human dignity. It's about religious freedom. It's about voting rights. It's about human trafficking. It's about the environment. I think you get the picture. It's about many things that go beyond abortion. It's kind of hard right now to feel like an agent of change when the change that is happening is pushing us back 50 years, 100 years. It's hard to even think about, but the US occupies a third world country when it comes to women's lives. We can see it in the maternal mortality rate in this country. We can see it in the infant mortality rate in this country. We can see it on every level and what's happening in terms of availability to healthcare services for women right now. We have a movement that is based on legislating fiction. We have a campaign that occurred in this state, the Amendment 1 campaign, which was completely based on lies and deception, and now is being legislated on those lies and deception. Amendment 1 removes us as women from our state constitution. In the state of Tennessee, guns right now have more rights than women. And I want to know, where is the public outcry? In Indiana a couple of weeks ago, rightfully, thankfully, when the governor signed into law an outrageous bill to legitimize discrimination against gay people, yes, there was a huge outcry from individuals to groups to corporate boardrooms. And what about women's rights? There were 322 pieces of legislation introduced since January 1st, 2015. And I don't know if you're following it, but some of these pieces of legislation are so outrageous you think, you know, is this The Onion? No, this is real legislation that they're passing. And why is there not that outcry? And I say, because everyone is held hostage by this lying, deceptive, or well-organized group of people that are infiltrated, had worked very hard. In terms of campaigning, we've got a lot to learn, don't we? Because they've been brilliant. And they're on every city, county, school board, state legislation, and federal legislation. And they've held us hostage. Politicians are afraid to speak up, except for some of our wonderful, brave politicians locally. Medical professionals are afraid to speak up. And I would think that they would be very concerned of legislators passing pieces of legislation telling them how to practice medicine. Alabama has a law in front of its books right now that the ACLU is fighting. They've passed it. Appointing a legal guardian to the fetus of a minor who has to go before a judge. You can hardly believe this is true, right? Arizona and Arkansas just passed a bill that a physician has to tell a woman who's receiving a medical abortion that it is reversible. There is no medical evidence, there's no medical foundation, there's nothing. They're passing these kind of laws day and night. Kansas just passed, and I think Arizona's about to follow, banning the safe procedure to do second trimester abortions. Indiana just incarcerated an Indian woman. Her sentence is 40 years. She had a miscarriage. We are criminalizing women in this country. North Carolina has a bill before its legislative right now to forbid the education of doctors to perform abortion procedures. Forbid the training of these physicians. It kind of goes on and on. So I too, because this is what we do, right? We have two bills in Tennessee that go onto the full floor this week. House Bill 977, Senate Bill 1222. Please call your legislators. Do we have a flying chance? Probably not. 48-hour waiting period. We will be only the second state in the country to mandate that the physician has to give the informed consent to the woman. No medical procedure in this entire country has any kind of law mandated like that except South Dakota. Please call your legislators, at least if they hear from enough people, our voices need to be heard. So one last little bit. You know, the Knoxville Center for Reproductive Health we will be celebrating our 40th year of providing high quality, wonderful reproductive services to the women in our communities. And we ask you, we will be doing some big shindig, and we ask you to come join us. The people that I work with, I can't tell you how much I love you, you know that, and how strong they are also in standing and facing off everything that we face every day. Between protesters outside calling us horrible things and, you know, just all of it. So please come out and celebrate with us. We certainly hope to be here for another 40 years serving this community. Hear me roar! And no one's ever going to keep us down again. Oh, wait, you know, I do have one more thing to do. Mouth is feeling a little dry. So in our extended family, we have this practice of writing poetry for each other. And my dearest, dearest friend, Eileen Cogan, is the poet laureate of our extended family gatherings. And sort of unbeknownst to me, sort of like the surprise of this award, wasn't thinking of Eileen writing a poem for us, but I have to share it because it's really pretty to hear.
It's great.
If you're willing to take
Absolutely.
2 more minutes.
Let's do it.
I don't know no woman finer In Tennessee and Carolina, on most picket lines, we find her, fighting laws she thought behind her. She has lots of right to whine her, but her spirit's so sublime. Years of practice have refine her. She supports both crones and minors. She's a radical opiner. And she makes great Christmas diners. Her community she binders with her joy and loving kindness. I can't think of no more rhymers. Thanks for loving our vaginas.
Ha ha ha!